Hi everyone and welcome to Code on 5. In this tutorial we will cover the basics of rigging in Blender. We will start with the most basic armature. We can create beginning with a single bone and building our rigging system from there. So press Shift A, go to Armature and click on Single Bone. Our bone will be placed here at the center of the scene. It won't be visible at first because it is currently covered by our asset. To make it visible, click on this icon, check the In Front option, and this will allow us to see our bone. Let's switch to Edit mode, select the tail of our bone and move it upwards. I always recommend making movements, rotation or scale changes in edit mode to avoid shifting the origin point, which helps maintain the balance within our armature. This is especially important as our armature becomes more complex. We have now lengthened our bone, making it consequently larger. The larger part of our bone is called the head, and the smaller part is called the tail. These two terms will often come up when creating more complex rigging systems. Let's continue building our armature by performing extrusions. Switch to Global to align with our scene, select only the tail, press E, Z, extrude another bone, press E, Z again, and finally extrude another bone upwards, like this. Despite its simplicity, this still constitutes an armature that must be parented to our asset so that it can deform and move it. To create this parent-child relationship, you will need to return to object mode and perform some checks first. In the transform component, make sure that the values are always well reset. There should be no rotation value other than 000, and the scaling should be well proportionate. If this is not the case, go to Apply and select Rotation and Scale to ensure everything is well reset. Do the same for the asset with which we will create the parent-child relationship. This is important because otherwise creating a parent-child relationship between the two objects that are not well reset could lead to unwanted deformations. Let's create the parent-child relationship. To do this, first select our asset, then our armature. Last, as our armature will be the parent, press Ctrl P and choose this mode with automatic weights. We will delve into the meaning of this mode later. For now, you just need to know that you should choose this mode whenever your armature is called to deform an asset such as bending the stem of our mushroom, or it could be bending an arm, a leg, or moving the torso of a character. Once everything is selected, press Ctrl P with automatic weights and the parent-child relationship is now established. To see if everything works correctly, switch to pose mode. Select, for example, this bone, activate rotation and rotate it. As you can see, our rigging system, despite its simplicity, works properly. Now, if we simply want to parent another object to our armature, making it follow the movements, we need to choose another parenting mode. Return to object mode, bring this object into the scene, which is a simple hut, reset the rotation and scale values, select the object, select our armature, switch to pose mode, select this bone, but this time choose the bone mode, because we simply want to create a parent-child relationship between this asset, our hat, and this bone, meaning we want our hat to simply follow the movements of this bone. As we can see, our hat follows the movements of our armature. We need to delve deeper into the concept of with automatic weights. What weights are and how they are managed. In this case, we can see that rotating this bone, the top part of our motion, does not follow the movement with the same intensity. It tends to follow the rotation of our bone less, which is due to our weights. To see them, we can go here in object mode, select the object, and then move here to weight paint. As we can see, moving here in the vertex group section, we find our bone. This is the bone at the base, often referred to as the root. So let's rename it. Then we have the first and second bones. By selecting them, as you can see, we will have the colors indicating the type of influence our bone have on our asset. We have a variety of colors ranging from red to blue. Red means that there is a maximum influence of the bone in that vertex region. Blue means there is no influence. In this case, our root will have no influence, for example, in the upper part of our asset, which we see all in blue. If we select the last bone at the top, we see that we get shades of green, indicating medium influence. If we want to increase the intensity, thus the influence that the last bone has on this region, we will need to use weight paint. A value of 1 means that by painting we will get a region with a maximum influence, so it will turn red. Let's hide the hat and paint this part. Now, this entire vertex region will behave differently, meaning it will move more closely to the movements made by the upper bone. There are many features that we will see gradually. Let's select the armature, switch to pose bone, select the last bone, and as we can see, our hat follows the bone's movements more precisely. Staying in pose mode, let's move here to this icon with a bone and go to the bendy bones section. We see that we have the number of segments that we can modify. By selecting this bone and rotating it, we can see a pinch occurring here due to the fact that we only have 2 bones in this part. We can modify this behavior by increasing the number of segments. Let's do the same with the bone at the base, set it to 4. And as we can see, now our stem bends more smoothly. This is because we added 4 segments, so what do these bendy bones allow us to do? They simply allow us to simulate a subdivision of our bone. In this case, we set 5 segments, so they will behave as if there were 5 bones bending. So, in a smoother manner, eliminating the pinch with only 2 bones to manage. For now, that's all. We will continue to explore much more complex rigging systems. We will establish a relationship between different bones, such as inverse kinematic. Therefore, subscribe to the channel, and for now, thank you for your attention. See you next time.